has reported Monday its second consecutive day of record new members of COVID-19 cases, adding urgency to efforts to rein in a sudden resurgence of the coronavirus in the Chinese capital. The recent outbreak has been traced to Jinbadi, a sprawling wholesale food market that is the biggest in Asia and accounts for 80% of Beijing's farm produce supply, sourced both domestically and from overseas. The market has been shut, tens of thousands of nearby residents are being tested for the virus, and a citywide campaign launched to identify people who have recently visited the market or been in contact with people who have. Some schools have started to suspend classes. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government on Monday confirmed 47 new coronavirus infections, the Tokyo governor said, marking the largest daily figure since May 5th. According to media reports of the figure, 18 people were traced to nightlife establishments in the capital. The Tokyo government is asking people working at nightclubs and similar entertainment establishments to regularly take a COVID-19 test as part of new measures to stem the spread of the virus in nightlife districts in the capital. The 18 were found to be positive for the virus due to group testing. Sunday's daily figure was more than 24 new cases confirmed the previous day, of which 4 cases came from nightlife sports in the Shinku Entertainment District. According to a tally Monday by Johns Hopkins University, the United States has recorded 382 coronavirus-related deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing its death toll to 115,729. This was the lowest U.S. 24-hour toll since the peak in mid-April. It has been averaging 800 or so a day recently. A tracer maintained by the Baltimore-based university showed the world's top economy is by far the hardest-hit country in the pandemic, with both the highest number of deaths and the largest number of infections. The number of coronavirus cases has risen to more than 10,000 in the Czech Republic. Health Ministry data showed Monday the country of 10.7 million has 10,024 confirmed cases as the end of Sunday, with 329 deaths and 7,226 recovered. The daily rise in case numbers has been in the range of 31 to 74 over the past 2 weeks. Czech authorities opened their borders to travel from most European Union countries earlier this month, and it has raised the limit of public gatherings to 500 people. European countries eased some border controls on Monday after COVID-19 lockdowns, but Spain's continued closure, a patchwork of restrictions elsewhere, and new ways of working mean pre-pandemic levels of travel are a long way off. The Schengen area of 22 EU countries plus Iceland, Norway and Switzerland operates control-free crossings, but they have been mostly closed for 3 months to all but goods traffic and critical workers. European Home Affairs Commissioner urged Schengen members last week to lift internal border controls by Monday to allow a gradual reopening to other countries from July. After 83 days of coronavirus lockdown, non-essential stores in England reopened their doors on Monday, hoping to get all tills ringing again and start a long road to recovery. The stores have been closed since March 23rd, when Prime Minister Boris Johnson imposed a lockdown to stem the spread of the virus, while outdoor markets and car showrooms reopened on June 1st. Monday will be the big return to business for retailers. It only applies to England, with stores in Scotland and Wales waiting for guidance from their devolved administrations on when they can resume trading. Non-essential stores in Northern Ireland reopened on Friday. Desperation for a way to keep economies from collapsing under the weight of COVID-19 could mean settling for a vaccine that prevents people from getting really sick or dying, but doesn't stop them from catching the coronavirus. According to Professor Robin Shattuck from Imperial College London, who is leading development of an experiment shot, although a knockout blow against the virus is the ultimate goal, early vaccines may come with limitations on what they can deliver. Professor Shattuck said it's quite possible a vaccine that only protects against severe disease would be very useful. EU foreign ministers will hold video talks with their U.S. counterparts. Mike Pompeo on Monday as transatlantic threats widen over Israel, international organizations, and how to deal with China. The meeting kicks off a crunch week for U.S.-Europe ties with a virtual meeting of NATO defense ministers starting Wednesday, already overshadowed by Washington's controversial plans to slash its troops' presence in Germany. High on the agenda will be the Middle East peace process as Brussels seeks to persuade Israel to back down from plans to annex parts of the occupied West Bank. The Turkish Defense Ministry said Monday Turkish jets carried out new cross-border airstrikes targeting Turkish Kurdish rebels in northern Iraq. Turkey frequently conducts aerial attacks against the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK, which maintains bases in northern Iraq. The latest operation, codenamed Operation Claw Eagle, hit suspected PKK targets in several regions in Iraq's north, including Sinjar, according to the military, which claimed 81 PKK targets were struck, including shelters and caves. The ministry said the jets took maximum care not to harm the civilians and returned to their bases safely. There was no immediate statement from either the PKK, Baghdad, or northern Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region. The UN nuclear watchdog's governing body will meet on Monday as a row brews over Iran's refusal to allow access to two sites where historic nuclear activity may have occurred. The Vienna-based International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, expressed serious concern in a report earlier this month that Iran has been blocking inspections at the sites. The Board of Governors, one of the agency's policy-making bodies, is expected to discuss the report during its meeting. If they pass a resolution critical of Iran, it would be the first of its kind since 2012. Even though the two sites are not thought to be key to Iran's current activities, the agency says it needs to know if past activities going back almost 2 decades have been probably declared and all materials accounted for. Afghanistan's government and the Taliban group have agreed that Doha will be the venue for the first meeting in their peace talks. The talks, known as the Intra-Afghan Dialogue, will be the first high-level meeting between the two sides after years of fighting. No date has been announced for the meeting, but it's expected to take place after the two sides settle differences on the release by the Afghan government of 5,000 Taliban prisoners, which could be as soon as the end of next week. The Afghan government has released 3,000 Taliban prisoners so far under an agreement signed between the United States and the insurgent group in February. The deal outlined a roadmap for withdrawing foreign forces from Afghanistan and peace talks to end the 19-year war. According to media reports Monday, Vietnamese aviation authorities have grounded 2 foreign pilots after a Vietjet A passenger plane they were controlling skidded off a runway as it landed in Ho Chi Minh City. Vietjet said in a statement the aircraft skidded off the runway at Tan Son Nhat Airport on Sunday due to heavy rain and tailwind. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam have also seized the license of the 2 pilots, pending the investigation into the incident. The airplane passengers and crew are all safe, Vietjet said in a statement, without saying how many were on board. Oil kept falling after its first weekly drop since late April as a fresh COVID-19 outbreak in China and increases in cases elsewhere added to concern a second wave of infections will threaten a nascent economy recovery. Futures in New York fell to near $35 per barrel after losing 8.3 last week. Beijing closed the city's largest fruit and vegetable supply center and locked down nearby housing districts over the weekend after dozens of people associated with the market tested positive for the virus. Florida, meanwhile, is among some of U.S. states that are still seeing sharp increases in cases.